Alright guys, for some reason our audio got cut out, so we're fucking using a pair of like Halo headphones. But I was gonna talk to you guys about dipping your car, and a lot of people question if it's a wrap or what it is, and it's basically just dip, and you use like same like metal flakes and everything that you would use in normal paint. The actual like base color is avalanche gray, and then on top of it is like a cobra color shift mixed with the dip your car top coat. And here's me just pointing at it. I don't even know what I'm fucking saying, but oh well. Anyways, the paint, like, it came out pretty good. Obviously it's not perfect. This is the second car I've dipped, and pretty much what I've kind of learned is you start learning new things for every time you, like, I don't know what you would call it, like every time you do it once, like practice makes perfect type of thing. Obviously it's not perfect, but you get what I mean. Anyways, I just want to basically let you guys know like some of the cons that I found and some things that I've like fucked up and whatnot. But I'm going to pretty much like explain to you like why dip is pretty cool. So it's kind of like a wrap. A lot of people like ask me, is it a wrap, is it a paint job, what is it? And they're always like amazed like how it's dipped. And so like right here I'm pointing out like a little imperfection I had. So we didn't take a razor blade to the tape and then it lifted up right there, so I might just cut that whole little panel off and just leave it black, kind of like a black bar. I think it'll look kind of cool. I don't know, I might touch it up because there's a couple of other spots that I gotta touch up. But make sure that you apply like a thick wet coat on your last one before you peel off like the tape, because it can actually dry, and then when you take the tape off it'll lift, and then you got to restart all over, and it's kind of a pain. But what I've learned is if you just literally use one wet coat over the whole thing and then peel, but before you peel also we took a razor blade and just went completely around each little part, and that really helped with it from not lifting. And then as you can see, I'm also pointing out how beat up my front spoiler is, but oh well. But anyways, right here like we just taped it off, and you can see the line's not perfect, so I'm gonna have to go through with like a razor blade and make it a little bit straighter. But you get the point. I mean, I thought it would look kind of cool just to paint the sides. And then what am I doing here? Oh, I'm pointing out like you also have to make sure that you prep your car well. So literally you have to clean each little crack. Like this isn't even noticeable, like, and up there that one's a little bit noticeable. But I mean, what happens is like dirt and stuff gets caught up underneath there, and then it causes it to bubble, as you can see, and that's just caused from poor prepping. And then like you can get like the pre-dip, which is basically like this like little liquid that they put on there on dipyourcar.com. That's where this whole kit's from, by the way. And then but like little things, like there's a little bit of like tiger striping. I mean, you can barely see it, like the light has to be shining on it perfect, but it's like very, very faint. But I mean, if the light hits it right, you can see. It's just one other thing to point out. Have really short arms. I'm not a very tall dude. I'm like 5'8", 5'9" is what I tell the girls. But you kind of have to just reach over and hope for the best, but it's kind of hard to get like a full like nice even coat. Pretty much the key is to get like nice overlapping coats. And if you ever get like a run, dip's like a lot easier to work with than say like normal paint. So if you get a run, you can basically just put like paint thinner on a glove and then wipe it down, and then it will smooth it out. And here's just like a little picture of like what it looks like in the light. It doesn't color shift as hard when the sun's directly on it, but it sparkles pretty good. Another thing to also keep in mind is we use the dip your car spray gun, and it works pretty good. Just make sure you clean out the nozzles very well so you don't get runs. And like right there, that one snuck away, and I haven't fixed it yet. But I mean, it's not like craziness, it's not the end of the world. I personally think it looks better than what my paint looked originally, because it had tons of rock chips. But paint's also like, the dip's kind of like sticky, so like things kind of stick to it, if that makes sense, and it's really hard to clean. But I mean, it's pretty tough. Like there I am digging my fingernail into it and didn't even leave a single scratch or anything. I've had rocks like come up and chip at it and didn't do anything. But yeah, for like little things like that, I mean, it's not a big deal. And also you can tell that it's kind of textured. Like literally you have to get up super close to see it, or like even touch it to notice, but it's not gonna be as like say smooth as normal paint, or like say like a vinyl wrap. And also like little things, like it'll still show some of your imperfections, like if you have like a rock chip. I think I showed in this video, I don't remember, but and like dents like that, like can't really tell, but it just kind of highlights them, if that makes sense, if you go with like a color shifting pearls, kind of like what I did, because the dent like makes the light shine different. And right there I had like a little spider cracking in my clear coat from someone pressing my hood down too hard. Well, when you dipped over it, it's completely gone, you can't even tell. And here I am showing the little rock chip, you can kind of see it, but it was super noticeable on a black hood. But when you dip over it, like it's almost not even there. Like obviously it's there, don't get me wrong, but it's just doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, if that makes sense. And then pretty much like I would say like the cons of dip is, I mean, it's still gonna have lift, vinyl lifts and whatnot, but dip's a lot easier to use and it's a lot easier to work with. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill. I mean, my dumbass figured out how to do it, so I'm pretty sure anybody else could do it. I would definitely recommend dip like over say like wrap and a paint job, because this only cost me like $400 all said and done, and I have extra dip for like rock chips, but honestly I don't even think there's gonna be crazy rock chips, because it's pretty tough. And what's nice is it all peels off, and here I'm showing like you can just peel off your emblem by taking a razor blade around the sides, and then it just peels off in like one piece. It's like super easy. I was really scared to do that and lift up my whole dip on my fender, but one thing that I'm showing here is that I took off my mirrors and like other like little things, because basically you can't really dip underneath there and it looks really thin, so if the light shines on it where you can see it. I also took out these little like rails, I don't know what you would call those, but basically that just, I feel like it gave it a cleaner look to make sure like it wasn't like nice and thin on the inside, so made it thick along with this one, so that way just, I don't know, I just didn't want to look as tacky, if that makes sense. I went along with dipping my rear louvers because they have these like little holes in the middle, and I was really scared that I would get like overspray inside there on the little quarter window, but it actually didn't even get in there. I'm not sure how, and this is probably the biggest mistake I made. So right here you can see it like super thin peeled up, and that's because I taped off there and the tape actually ended up coming off. I don't know if it's just because it got wet from the paint, I don't really know what it was. It's probably a user error, I have no clue. So I think what I would do if I were to redo it is dip the whole spoiler and then take a razor blade and then peel it off from there, because like it's really hard to spray in there with the tape and have it look good. So that's one spot that I'm gonna have to touch up, and I'm pretty happy that I went along and bought an extra can of dip, so then I can like make little touch-ups like that and whatnot. But overall, like, it's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out compared to my old paint, which was all chipped and swirled and constantly washing the black paint, and it was just a pain in the ass. And and right here I just painted over the reflectors because they stuck out like a sore thumb. I mean, they're already tinted, but still, I don't know, I might peel them if a cop tries to, I don't know, give me a ticket or something. But then if you come over here, as you can see, I forgot to peel off or tape off the exhaust pipes, and painted them, and they looked really fucking fruity because there was sparkly gray paint on the exhaust tip. So, and I just got too lazy and haven't peeled the whole thing off yet, and the paint's really thin because at first I tried to avoid it and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to avoid it. And so now we're pretty much just switching to a part of me driving, and didn't really turn out very well. It's actually really fucking shitty now that I'm actually watching it, but we just needed to add this part so then I can basically kind of wrap it up. So I would definitely recommend it. It's pretty easy to use, like I said. I think anybody can do it if you're physically capable to move all your body parts. Obviously it's not perfect, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. If you guys have any questions or comments, just feel free to put it in the comment section, and I don't know if you hate it, comment it. I don't care. I mean, I obviously really don't care. And then shortly after this, I drove down there so we could take like a little badass video of my car rolling down. But what happened was my throttle body just decided to stop working, so now we gotta fix that, you know, typical Ford stuff. But anyways, if you guys like the video, like a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.